Hi, everybody. It's Craig from Doc Sports back with. We're going to have a handful of college basketball games here for New Year's. Don't have the greatest games. They're smaller conferences, but hey, sometimes those have a ton of value, and we're going to try to find some winners for you. Don't forget, if you want to get in on all my best bets, you can get in All Sports Pass. The only way to get the All Sports Pass is if you text my number. So you text my number right here, your name to my number, 740-760-1131. All sports week, 2 weeks for $99. That's usually $99 per sport per week. So over $700-800 to get on all of them. Month $175 is usually over $700-800, or 2 months over $1,200. It's just $299. That's all sports. Today I have a 6-unit play. 6-unit play, and it goes early in college football playoff action. Going to have a NBA play and an NHL play. So get all three of those with that All Sports Pass. If you buy them individually, it's $30 each day per sport. So that would be $90, and you can get 2 weeks of the plays for $99. Only way to find it, though, so you text your name to this, and I'll send you the link. You can't find it on the website. Okay, let's go. College hoops here, and we started off Oakland versus Youngstown State early. Youngstown State's favored by 1.5, total of 156.5, and of course Horizon Conference here. And I kind of expected that Youngstown State would actually be a little better this year. And I actually see this line is kind of all over the place. I see some even Oakland's favored, Youngstown State's favored. So make sure you search it around. I don't think it's going to bother me one way or the other. I do think Youngstown State, I've been a little disappointed with them. The last game they lost at home to Detroit, 68-73. They were a 10-point favorite in that one. I think this is a big bounce back spot. I like Youngstown. I think they'll win by 2 or 3 points or more. So either way, if you get Youngstown State as a favorite or as an underdog, I like them in this spot. It is a big bounce back after a really disappointing game. And, Oakland hasn't played great the last 2 games. One was a Michigan State and a loss by near double digits, and then at Wright State losing by 15. I think Youngstown State will take care of business in this one. Now, the next game, we have Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is favored by 2.5, total 157 in this one. And when you look at these two Sun Belt teams facing off here, I thought Coastal Carolina would actually be flipped. I thought they would be about 10-5 at this point, but it's actually Georgia Southern that's 10-5. And yet Coastal Carolina, they get the breaks because they are at home here. They have won 2 in a row. That was a good win against St. Joe's last time out. As a 7-point underdog, they won outright by 6 points. They did beat ODU at ODU the game before that as a 3.5-point underdog, won by 2. Georgia Southern, though, has ran off, 8 wins in a row. 8 wins in a row. Now, who did they beat in that? Obviously, they didn't beat the greatest group, but you get a little confidence, and I think you take the underdog here. I think Georgia Southern will keep this close. I think it's going to come right down to the wire. So if you're giving me 2.5, 3 points, I think that's what you got to take. You got to. I think they have a chance to win outright, but at worst, I just could see it where they lose by 1 or 2 and get us the cover. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on all the great content we have here at Doc Sports. Milwaukee at Wright State, a good game here in the MAC, right? I believe it's the MAC. No, it's the Horizon, sorry. But we see Wright State favored by 5.5, total 149.5. And, what do you like about Milwaukee? I mean, last year they were one of the worst teams in college basketball. They are better this year. They are coming off a 20-point loss at Wisconsin. But before that, they had won at Purdue-Fort Wayne by 22. They had won by 10 at Cleveland State. And I think if they play those type of games, they'll win this game. And I know Wright State is very close to me. The Nutter Center, I played there when I was high school, summer camps and such. Great place. But, the kids aren't back in session, so you won't the true home court's not there. I think Milwaukee keeps it within the 5.5 points here. I do respect Wright State. I mean, that 15-point win against Oakland last time out was respectable. I just think it's a tough spot. And I think Milwaukee's a little better than what people – because they kind of remember what they were last year. Now, next game, we just have a couple more games. IUPUI at Northern Kentucky, another close team that's literally – this is actually closer than Cincinnati and Xavier to me because you kind of got to go through Kentucky to get to Cincinnati, where I live. And, my brother graduated there. My sister graduated there. So even though I didn't go there, I'm very familiar with Northern Kentucky. And they're a 13.5-point favorite here. They're 10-5 on the year, but they're just 6-6 against the spread. I know IUPUI has been bad. 4-11, just 4-9 against the spread. I mean, they lost by 13 last time at Cleveland State. Grand Canyon by 13 the game before that. It's just been really, really bad here. Now, you to dominate and win by 13 and to win by 14 to cover this, you got to be really good. And Northern Kentucky close win at Robert Morris. They lost to College of Charleston at home. Of course, Chris Mack coming back to coach where he coached at Xavier before, so he's very familiar from Cincinnati. Played there, so that was a big win for them. I think you take IUPUI. This is one of you hold your nose here. You take the 13.5. I just think it's a spot where Northern Kentucky looks at their record and says, "Oh, not very good. We can, they're 11th in the horizon. We can just show up." And that's just not the way it works. I think Northern Kentucky wins, but I do think it's relatively close in this one. Now, last game we have for you. I'm going to go to a really late game. We got Southern Miss at UL Monroe. Southern Miss is favored by 7.5 total, 156, and a good Sun Belt matchup. I think these teams 1-7-6, 1-3-9, but I don't think it's quite as large a gap as you want to think, because if you're 500 in, it's kind of scheduling at this point of the year because we haven't seen many games or any games at all, and we go play through these conferences. So it's like if you test yourself a little bit more, yeah, you're going to have more losses. And UNL Monroe, they played at Kansas State. They played at Miami already this year. They played at Moorhead, which is a decent team. I mean, they played some pretty good teams. You're going to lose those games pretty much every time. Now, is Southern Miss better? Absolutely. But Southern Miss lost to, and sometimes this can bruise your ego, by 28 just a couple of days ago at LSU. They lost at Arkansas State, or they at home to Arkansas State. I think you take UL Monroe plus the points here. I just think Southern Miss will be tough, probably hard fought to get this win, but I don't think they cover. So that's what I like for today. All games before 5 o'clock. So of course, schedule's kind of messed up when it's a holiday like today. But don't forget, I got my top play today. It goes in college football. It's a 6-unit play in college football. Got a college football play tomorrow. I got a big play, 7-unit play on Saturday. And the NFL, you can get in all of it. How do you do it? Very simple. You text your name to my number, 740-760-1131. I'll send you the link. You can get the All Sports Pass, 2 weeks, just $99, month $175, or 2 months $299. That's like 75% off each one of those. So choose which link you want. It's up to you. But the only way to find it is you text your name to my number. Good luck. See you again tomorrow.